Hello and welcome to Call Time, the humble little talk show coming to those oddly placed TVs in the atrium near you. I'm your host, Casey Whisler, and it is lovely to see all your faces in my non-existent audience tonight. If you are familiar with RBTV, you are aware that we have a very small amount of viewers. I think it's in the negatives right now, but I just want to clear some stuff up. I think that having less viewers is good for two things. We have self-deprecating humor. That always helps with self-deprecating humor. We also have the fact that it helps us look on the positive. Okay, look at this set. It's so nice. It's lovely, and only like 3 people in the whole world get to see it. Yeah, it is just gorgeous, and only me, the crew, and that stoner who thinks that RBTV is pretty trippy if you close your eyes hard enough get to see it. So yeah, we have this like huge, lovely new set just for like minuscule amounts of people to see it. And this philosophy of helping out things that really don't need any help is one that's only used by high schools who only fund their football team and those who support All Lives Matter. Yeah. Another thing that is wonderful about this show tonight is that we don't have a laughing track. Yeah, so all of these jokes will be greeted with a nice amount of silence or maybe some boos, which is exactly how I bet the Pro-Life Club feels whenever their announcements come on. All right, so maybe it'll work later. I don't really know what's up with it exactly, but just to make up for it, I made this cute little slideshow of like the cast and the crew. It's adorable and I'm really excited about it, so get pumped for that. So yeah, with our laughing track, it's sort of like a choose your own adventure for when you want to laugh. So if you see me say something funny, laugh. If you see me move around or do something, funky, why not? Just go ahead and give us a chuckle. And if you're choking and it sort of sounds like a laugh, just keep it going. It fuels me. Okay, thank you. So yes, we had a very particular naming process with the show. Call Time is, it took us a while to get there, to figure out this lovely show of Call Time, but we went through a very rigorous naming process. We tried Mission Casey, we tried Casey with the Wind, we tried National Casey, we tried Casey Tannic, we tried The Shawshank Casey, Casey School Musical, Casey Gump, Casey Fiction, Caseyception, Silence of the Caseys, Raiders of the Lost Casey, Caseyception, and Talk Show. This talk show also was affectionately named earlier Casey at Night, which is not only a SpongeBob reference, but it also shows the real truth that we get to the bottom of here at Call Time. The show is at night. Yes, that's pretty raw and real, but yeah. Anyway, on the show tonight, we will have 2 performances from the Madrigals, and they are wonderful. They work so hard, and some of the notes they hit are so high that it's only on a frequency that only dogs, dolphins, and that stoner who thinks that RBTV is pretty trippy if you close your eyes enough get to hear. It's Thursday somewhere. So, welcome to the show. Kick back, relax, and enjoy these nice bunch of comedy bits for your excitement and discomfort. I'm Casey Whisler. Enjoy the show. Welcome back to Call Time. I'm your host, Casey Whisler, and before we get things started on the show, I just wanted to get something out of the way. We have a number of endorsements from little small businesses around the area, and they've given us a lot of help with like the set, and just, yeah, they're great, and I wanted to schedule a little bit of time just to give them a little shout out. So today, one of our key people endorsing us is Skelly's Halloween store in Berwyn. They've given us a ton of help, so I'm just going to go through a couple of their products, and if you see anything you like, head on over there. It's very local. Just go and get yourself a nice Halloween costume. So to begin, we have this tiger costume. Very classic, very feisty. Anyone wishing to be a big cat this Halloween, go for that. All right, our next costume is a wizard costume. This is for all you magical guys out there. Anyone who's a Harry Potter fan or just likes magic, go ahead and get this costume. Next, we have our Santa Claus costume. Not really in season, but if those of you who celebrate Christmas in August, like Walmart, want to dress up as Santa for Halloween, go for it, man. This next costume is a dual costume, so if you want to dress up with your friend, we have the Apple iPhone 7 earbuds, and these are really relevant costumes this year, except there's no way to connect them, so you might lose your friend within the first 5 minutes of putting on the costumes. Next, we have this unique costume. We call it our human costume, and it's a bag of air because, I mean, we're all human, right? All we need to be humans is just a bag of air, am I right? We don't need costumes to be human. Unless you're Donald Trump, in that case, you are most likely a bag of trash in an unconvincing human form. Next, we have some decorative wall hangs. They say, Casey, I can't believe you just made a Donald Trump joke. We have, those are literally so overdone by every comedian. So those are pretty catchy, very simple decorations. Next we have the collectible window signs that go along with them that say, I know Casey, but everything he says is so horrible, we need to unite against him. And if comedy is the way to do that, then so be it. All right, next. So our next costume is anyone thinking of being an Indian or a psychopath this Halloween. This is the perfect costume for you. It's a big old shirt that says, I suck. So why go out of your way to appropriate a culture or trivialize a mental illness to prove that you suck, when really you can just come right out and say it with this costume? Next we have a unicorn. And if anyone is wanting to heat things up this Halloween, we have a nice spicy costume for you. Try on these leg warmers. Temperatures are supposed to be between 45 and 50 degrees, so stay warm, kids. And finally, if you are one of those people who likes to scare people a lot this Halloween, we have the terrifying costume of college applications. Really scary, right? All right, well, go on over to Skelly's Halloween store. They are just tons of fun. Happy Halloween, folks.
Shoot, false love, I cannot spend thy shafts and spare not. Fa la 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 la, fa la la fa la la la. Long thy bow did fear me, while thy pomp did fleer me. Fa la 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 la, fa la la. I fear not I thy might, unless I weigh thy spite. O naked eye unarm me, if thou canst not shoot and harm me. So lightly I esteem thee, as now a child I deem thee. Fa la 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 I fear not I thy might, unless I weigh thy spite. O naked eye unarm me, if thou canst now shoot and harm me. So lightly I esteem thee, as now a child I deem thee. Fa la
How about those madrigals? They were just wonderful. Our next segment on this show will be a segment I like to call This or That. It is where I give you two categories, and I'm going to give you a number of things that is in one of those two categories. And you at home have to guess which category the thing that I say is in. So our first edition of this segment is called Velveeta Cheese Commercial or Famous Literature. So our first little phrase is, the side dish steals the show. Take a second to think. very poetic, also possibly very cheesy. Think it through, think it through. That is from a Velveeta cheese commercial. Heartbreaking. Next, we have the most precious gold to be found on earth. Are you thinking about it? This one's a tough one. Roman Paine, famous poet. Next, we have coins are gold. What bag? This one's a little out of context. We'll see if you guys can get it. This one's Aristotle. Next, we have I'm not afraid of you, devil's box. Think about it, think about it. What's in the box? What's in the box? It's Velveeta cheese. Next, there's gold in these here shells. Is it a red herring or a clue? It is a clue. These shells are Velveeta cheese. Next, we have nothing gold can stay. It's bittersweet. It's heartbreaking, or is it just plain cheesy? It's Robert Frost, the famous poet. Next, we have demanded on an omelet before it cracked. What is it? Is it cheese or is it poetry? Do you have poetry on your omelets? Do you have cheese on your omelets? It's poetry. Sandra Heska King. Keep thinking. Next, we have the extra goodness comes from the non-fat part of the milk. Think it through, think it through. Got you, it's Velveeta. Next, we have often is his gold complexion dimmed. Poetry or cheese? You decide. Just kidding, I decide. William Shakespeare. Next, we have our final. Oh, no, just kidding. There's so many more here. All right, guys. There's gold in these here shells. We already said it's Velveeta. Next, we have creamy is what you crave. Do you crave creamy? We'll see. It's Velveeta. Next, we have all the choice spirits who lived in the cheese. What cheese is it? It's Sir Arthur Conan Doyle. That's the cheese it is. Writer of Sherlock Holmes. Next, we have endless melty gold. What is it? I would say that's Velveeta. And finally, our trick of the night, we have Think about it. What's from? A poem or a nice bowl of mac and cheese? Trick question. It has been said by both poets and eaters of Velveeta cheese. I know, crazy, right? All right, now we have another performance from the Madrigals, so tune in and watch their lovely singing. Welcome back to Call Time. How about those madrigals? Oh my goodness. Here we have the lovely choir director, Mrs. Prince. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
Well, you are brand new here at RB, am I right?
Yes.
And how are you liking the environment here? How is it different from other places that you've worked before?
I'm absolutely loving it. The vibrant student atmosphere is very contagious. The enthusiasm of the choir kids is just awesome, and I'm very, very excited to be a part of the RB community. It's really been wonderful so far.
Of course, yeah. So where did you work before you came to RB?
Previously, I've taught at Plainfield East High School. That's where I started my teaching career, and I worked there for 8 years. It was kind of a cool experience. I got to open up a brand new high school. I was the very first choir teacher that has ever worked there, so that was pretty awesome. Started my program there with 17 singers, and I left it at a program of 225.
Nice.
So I'm quite excited to be here at RB and kind of build upon the wonderful tradition of excellence that has existed before me, and kind of put my own flair on things and keep growing the program.
Of course, we have high-profile guests here, guys. So you said your own personal flair. Is there anything you want to, any new things you want to implement in the choirs here?
I think one of my characteristics that I'm kind of proud of is I'm a very passionate person, and I bring that to everything I like to do, and I'm hoping to kind of instill that passion and drive into the RB choir students and just the music program, and then I think my enthusiasm and passion for music will hopefully bleed into the existing enthusiasm within the program and just kind of spark a wildfire across the community of students and hopefully get more and more people excited about singing.
Of course, yeah. So where did you harbor this passion for singing? What sparked your interest for this kind of thing?
I was very fortunate when I was growing up to be involved in a wonderful community theater called Vermilion Players in Pontiac, Illinois, and that is where my love of music really kind of took off. I feel like that and wanting to be Ariel, when I was 3, in the bathtub, we've all been there.
Oh, heck yeah.
That part of your world moment where you splash water all over. Probably really there, but through the involvement in the community theater is where I really kind of fell in love with the stage and fell in love with singing, and that kind of started my journey, and I never looked back. I loved it and just kept going.
That's great. So yes, I see you have extensive theater experience, and you're also directing the musical here, is that true?
Yes, I will be doing the spring musical, which I love directing shows. I feel like I have a really good knack for it, and I'm really just excited to kind of bring some of my strengths to RB and get people excited about being in a musical. I think it can be really awesome. I really am a big fan of big ensemble shows to get more people involved, because I know how important being involved in theater was in my own musical journey, I guess. That sounded really cliche, but it kind of was. And I think once people kind of get that experience, they also, like me when I was 6, just don't turn back.
Their Ariel moment, all of them in the bathtub.
Absolutely.
That kind of thing.
Yes, we're trying to breed more and more Ariel moments.
Of course, that's lovely. It could be on a Hallmark card.
We need to copyright that now.
Please, yes.
Okay,
so what shows have you directed in the past? Have you directed anything before?
Yes, I have. As a teacher, I have directed 8 different musicals. Each year where I was a teacher, my very first show I directed was The Wizard of Oz. It's one of my all-time favorite musicals and movies. I have Dorothy Complex. I'm shocked I'm not wearing red shoes right now.
I am under the table. You can't even tell. But
perfect. At least one of us is.
Please.
But I absolutely love The Wizard of Oz. My all-time favorite musical is probably Little Shop of Horrors.
Oh, it's so good.
It's a really great one. Speaking of The Little Mermaid, we just did that show last year at Plainfield East, and it was a smashing success. Or a diving success. I don't know how to make a pun out of that.
Yeah,
it's there
it's
somewhere.
There. We can find that. Yeah.
One day. It definitely didn't flounder. That's for sure. I went there.
Something's fishy with you.
But yeah, so that was a really great show. We've done Hairspray, done lots of things.
Great shows. Yeah.
Yeah. So I really like big, vibrant productions. I think are really fun to do.
And so I know this is probably a question that gets asked a lot, but Diane Morelli has directed our musicals for the past couple years. Is there a pressure that comes with filling her shoes, her fashionable shoes, might I add?
Well, Mrs. Morelli is quite lovely and very fashionable, so I don't think I can quite fill her fashionable shoes, but I like to think that I fill my own shoe size really good.
Rubber slippers.
And exactly, so I'm just really excited I have the utmost respect for Mrs. Morelli and the wonderful things she's done here at RB, and I'm just looking to kind of do great things here just like she did, but you know, with me being me.
Of course, and you spin on things.
Yeah, so it's so important to just be you and be yourself, and I'm just trying to be my best version of me here at RB.
Wonderful, yeah. And so before we go, do you have any little hints you could drop for what the musical is going to be?
Ooh, I can say a few little things without giving too much away. It's going to be awesome.
Oh yeah, that's a given, I think, yeah.
That's my hint.
That's your hint? Oh,
that's it. That's all.
I know
that's all
exactly
I got.
what it is. Okay.
Steel trap.
Perfect. All right. Well, thank you so much for coming on the show
Absolutely.
today.
Thanks
it
for
was
having
wonderful.
me.
Once again, this is Mrs. Prince. She is the choir director here at RB. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you for watching Call Time. We're coming back. Thank you so much for watching Call Time. It has been a pleasure putting on the show for you tonight. Tell all your friends to watch. We're going to do some shows periodically here on RBTV, so if you liked what you saw, feel free to just keep on watching. I just want to say a quick thanks to the lovely Madrigals who sang for us this evening, and Mrs. Prince, our awesome guest. They were amazing. I also want to give a quick thanks to the wonderful crew of this show who has put up with my lack of television production and all that jazz. Okay, and before we go, just to mention the little slideshow I talked about in the monologue, I just want to say a quick apology for the laughing track not working. That's super dumb and I'm sorry, but we have this cute montage that I made to make up for it. I'm really excited. Okay, so for the moment you have all been waiting for, we are going to start this slideshow. All right, in 5, 4, 3, 2. So now it decides to work. Perfect. Thank you so much for watching Call Time. It has been lovely being your host tonight. Have a great night.